Here we go, game one, losers finals. I think we're on Thunderguard.
3, 2,
Here we go.
Brawl.
Both players opening up the unarmed. Stevenator trying to go in. Finds the hammer, but Dobrein opens it up with an unarmed combo of his own and hits him with a recovery, racking up the damage.
Some nasty pressure.
Stevenator hits him with the hammer, launches him up, neutral air, and tosses it aside.
Both players axe to axe.
Who will find the first sidelight into neutral air? Dobrein. Stevenator finding his own combo himself.
Looping it up, hitting him with a recovery as well.
Doing a decent amount of damage. Both players just fighting with these axes right now, bringing each other out with siders, but the gravity cancel side sig from Dobrein sending Stevenator flying into the gun recovery, kills him off the top. Dobrein takes the lead, 3-2.
What a fast first stock.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fast stock when you're sparring with axes. Whoever's landing the hits, they're going to be doing the damage. Dobrein holding onto the axe of his own right now, tries to hit Stevenator with some down airs. Both players just respecting each other's spacing, but Stevenator finds the recovery.
Ends up catching the end sig and taking the first stock off Dobrein.
Launching him off the side. Stevenator playing around that weapon, deciding not to deny it, but try to punishing him instead. Dobrein picks it up.
The guns, changing it up a little bit.
But Stevenator hitting him with that scoop in the neutral air, dealing a decent amount of damage as the stocks are evened up.
Following up with some unarmed, but Dobrein hits him with the down air.
Teros holding onto the axe, gets hit by the down air from Dobrein. Dobrein goes for a signature punish but doesn't land, and Stevenator is still managing to rack up the damage. Another down air, Dobrein's in the red. Disarmed by that side air.
Dobrein gets that neutral air. Gets back on the stage, but gets swatted off by Stevenator's side air.
Excellent patience from Dobrein there with the recovery, sending Stevenator flying, but Stevenator's still in the orange.
Good. But Stevenator very quick to react and punish Dobrein with that neutral sig.
Yeah, that's the second neutral signature kill from Stevenator this set. Doing an excellent job of not spamming it this time, but just throwing it out when he knows it's going to land. Both players find themselves in the shenanigans zone, but this might benefit Stevenator. Dobrein finds a neutral light. Will he be able to find more?
Pushing him pretty far with that side air. I'm not sure if we're going to see a cheeky down sig from those guns.
Probably not. Tosses him aside for the axe, and Stevenator goes for an unarmed combo. Throws the mine directly downwards. Dobrein tries to get rid of it, but instead
tries to pop it out. Uppercuts through the shenanigans zone.
And sends Stevenator flying. Stevenator walks into the mine, not afraid to activate it while he is invincible, and goes underneath the stage with some down air ledge cancels.
Dobrein racking up damage with those down airs.
Runs
Finds
at him.
another and dodges the stomp. Doesn't manage to get away from that NSIG though.
Oh no, Stevenator's really feeling confident with these NSIGs. But
finds the gun recovery.
And now both players find themselves into the orange. Pretty dangerous zone, considering how much kill power both these players' attacks have. But there's the stop into the NSIG, and sends Dobrein flying. Will Stevenator be able to find the axe neutral as he does? Stevenator holding onto the axe.
Dobrein finds his opportunity, gets the down sig, and takes the stock.
Killing Stevenator off the top. A game that, in my opinion, was very much in Stevenator's control up until that last final down signature. Excellent showing from Dobrein.
It seemed like once Dobrein got those guns, it just totally changed the pace of the match.
Absolutely. The axe battle wasn't working out too well. Teros was winning out on that, but once he had the guns, he was able to space out against Teros's approaches with the hammer and win the match. Now,
Dobrein
however,
bringing out his Bryn.
Yeah, deciding that guns maybe aren't the things that he wants, but rather the spear, holding onto the axe and switching over to Bryn. Dobrein not even picking Bryn, actually, deciding for Hattori, and Stevenator picks Bodvar, opting to go to Twilight Grove. Here we go, game 2 of Losers Finals.
Three, two, one, brawl!
Dobrein opening up with that dive kick.
Senior finds the sword, but Dobrein wanting having to do nothing with it. Looks for a spear of his own.
Stevenator coming through, opens up with that downlight, but Dobrein ready to punish with those neutral lights.
Boxes out the side light. Trying to get as much damage with the spear as he can, waiting for Stevenator to land so he can land these neutral lights. But Stevenator's not giving him the opportunities. He's landing on his own. He gets a neutral light into a down sig.
Goes for the gravy side.
Doesn't quite work out.
Even though he is at a stock deficit, we have seen Dobrein on this map. He loves it. He loves to get those neutral lights off in that shenanigan zone.
Absolutely. Disarms Stevenator with that side air. Stevenator, however,
he
picks
eats
it
the
up.
scoop.
Both players often
Interrupts
throw
Steve
weapons.
with that weapon toss.
Dobrein finds himself with the sword right now. Stevenator jumping off the side of the stage into the island, and Dobrein
With the gravy neutral to take the first stock off
using the
Stevenator.
gravy cancel neutral to get on top of that island and punish Stevenator's landing. Excellent usage. Holding onto the spear, staying on the island, waiting for Stevenator to approach. Stevenator finds the sword, but Dobrein is perfectly comfortable using his neutral lights on the spear. Stevenator, however, finds the neutral light into the
Punches him
side
in
air
the face, takes the stock.
and evens it up 2-2. Dobrein fighting him right now with sword versus sword. Throws his weapon into Stevenator's face, trying to get the other weapon, goes for a ledge cancel with the down air, and finds the spear. Boxing him out with the
Gets
side
those
lights.
side lights out.
Stevenator
Stevenator's got to
finds
be
the sword.
very careful about going in, and he finds it. Goes in, gets the damage out, looking to keep it up.
Both players back into the neutral. Hits him with the downlight into the side air, however, racking up the damage, but Stevenator responds with a bread and butter combo of his own, D-light into side air.
Brain back to center stage, ready to play that neutral game that he loves so much.
Scoops him up into the air, goes for the N-air follow-up, but doesn't get it. Both players are
Finds the
trying
recovery.
into the spear toss, but doesn't quite connect. Dobrein waits for Stevenator to land, uses a spot dodge to try to punish it, finds a side air, sending it into the island and below the stage. Stevenator manages to recover, goes to the gravy cancel down sig, but doesn't connect. Both players are at dangerous percent right now.
Dobrein getting scooped by Stevenator. Dodging through the nair and getting the unarmed combo. Goes for the slide charge D-sig. Doesn't pay off, but he does catch the side air. Dobrein making it back to center stage, as well as Stevenator.
Stevenator throws aside his weapon but finds a sword. Dobrein, not having a weapon of his own, has the mine, tosses it on the Twilight Grove, and is trying to go for some unarmed combat. Either player is just looking to end the stock right now.
And he finds it with the weapon throw uppercut.
The landing uppercut, no less, throws the bomb into
And
the
dodges for style points.
throws the bomb into the island, and I think it would have been more style points to catch the bomb. But regardless, Dobrein finds the sword, denies Stevenator a weapon, and finds the spear. He's just throwing every weapon that he gets into the air, trying to rack up as much damage to save as possible. But the spike ball into the uppercut does a decent amount of damage to Dobrein.
Right? Dobrein ready to respond. Gooped.
Scooped off
So
the
much
top.
for the end light.
Absolutely. Dobrein, however, finding the sword, not phased by that kill, has the spear, trying to box him out with some side airs, and finds the neutral light. Stevenator is unarmed, but gets an unarmed combo twice in a row, racking up the damage.
Brain carrying him up with that neutral light in the recovery.
Yeah, dealing a decent amount of damage, sending Stevenator into
Hard
orange.
orange for Stevenator right now.
A neutral light.
Into red.
Ooh. And then a down air, doesn't get the side air follow-up, but that
He's
damage is
looping up those
insane.
neutral airs. He finds the down sig, sends Steve flying. Is he going to be able to follow up and close the game?
Ooh, goes to recovery, gets
Stevenator
punished.
punishes with a down air.
Dobrein really fishing for these recovery kills right now. Stevenator might be able to punish it and kill him off the top. He's got the hammer. Will he go for the gravy cancel end sig?
Gets the GC side sig, closes the stock.
Player one wins.
Somehow that hitbox sends Dobrein into the stage, followed by a weapon toss, and kills him off the bottom. A very clutch maneuver from Stevenator near the end to take game 2. We're moving on to game 3. Alright, let's see what they decide on for stages. Stevenator banning out Mammoth, Fortress, and Thunderguard.
Will Dobrein stick with Hattori?
He picks the Great Hall and indeed sticks with Hattori. We're moving on to Game 3.
Two sword lords
3, 2,
clashing
1,
in the yellow map.
With 3 platforms, here we go. Stevenator opting for an arm, but Dobrein winning it out, hitting the down air and tossing the mine. Stevenator nearly dodges into the mine, and now both players have their weapons and are sparring out in the neutral. Stevenator finds a down air and a down light into his
Almost
down
knocking
air,
Dobrein into that mine.
carrying Dobrein across the map, dealing a decent amount of damage with the sword. Goes for a D-light, but misses out on the follow-up. Dobrein tosses his weapon, but doesn't get any follow-up. Stevenator has got all of the pressure right now.
Dobrein trying to work that spear and punish Stevenator's aggression with those neutral lights.
Stevenator trying to go for a scoop, but doesn't quite work. Goes for it again. Dobrein is just boxing him out with these neutral lights. There's the side air.
Finds the side. Stevenator going for the scoop, doesn't work out, gets hit by the side light.
Ooh, and charges the
Bot
neutral side.
dodges neutral.
Stevenator tosses
Throws
his
the
hammer and goes for the down
goes
sig.
for that D-Sig. That risky D-Sig gets punished with the downlight into side air, and that is the first stock to Dobrein.
Yeah, the lingering hitbox on that spear catching Stevenator. I think he thought he was in the clear. That's why he didn't try to dodge it. Either way, Dobrein takes the lead, has the spear, and is
And
jabbing
racking
Steve.
up damage with those neutrals. Stevenator needs to get that combo off.
Yeah, finds the D-light side air into the
Finds
side
the
air,
takes the stock off Dobrein.
killing him off the side of the map, and evening it up quite quickly after that devastating first stock from Dobrein spear. Dobrein finds the sword, not quite what he wants. I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw that away, and there it is, finds the spear.
Dobrein just poke master with those neutral lights and those dares.
Ooh, but Stevenator finally being able to get into some combos of his own. I wouldn't be surprised to see a neutral light from Dobrein right here to be able to cover this ledge. He doesn't. But Stevenator gets back on, only after taking a decent amount of damage himself. Another neutral light. It's not going to take much more to end Stevenator's stock. There's the neutral
Steve's
sig.
red. He dodges the end sig. Dobrein tries to get that weapon throw. It hasn't been paying off for him. I haven't seen it hit yet this
No.
match.
Definitely not. Goes for a
Charges
charge
that
signature.
D-Sig a little too long. Might get hit by that nair.
Oh, and Stevenator is just keeping Dobrein above him with his neutrals from the hammer. He wants to end the stock now, and he wants to end it fast. Dobrein goes for another risky neutral sig. Those never connect. Hits him with the side
Finds
air.
the side air.
But Stevenator has amazing patience. Will he go for a ground pound here? No, instead gets hit by a
Catches the
recovery.
recovery. Finds the sword. Will he catch the nair? And he does. 2-1. Dobrein favor.
Dobrein holding onto the mine. Stevenator goes for the sword, finds the hammer. He should be able to end the stock pretty quickly if he gets a scoop, and there it is. Kills him off the top.
1-1. Even stocks. Stevenator denying Dobrein.
Dobrein holding on to the spear, uses the neutral light, hits Stevenator, racks up the damage, but Stevenator, they're both on even stocks right now. He's just got to avoid getting hit by these spear neutral lights so that he can get a little bit of damage. But there it is, a third neutral light in a row, sending him into the orange. Goes to the Gravy Castle D-light, but doesn't get the follow-up.
Catches the downlight side air. Looks to chain it up with that neutral air, but can't seem to catch it. Gets back onto the ground and just lights Steve up with those neutrals.
Yeah, there's about 5 neutrals that have hit in a row on Stevenator right now, just completely sending him into the red.
Needs to be very careful, or there it is. The neutral sig takes the set.
Yep. Hits him from below, sends him off the top, and Game 3 goes to Dobrein, sending him to Grand Finals.